Alrighty, welcome back to Against the Storm. This is Ventry. I'm trying some Queen's Hand stuff again. Since the map seal was the same, or the seed, not the seal, was the same, I didn't feel it was worth recording the first game. It was just a Holy Flame thing again. There was nothing particularly interesting about it. So I'm going to go on to Game 2. I did not pick my updates yet, since these are randomized. I don't know if they'll be the same from the seed, etc. I only played on Prestige 5 instead of Prestige 6 this time. So I won't have quite as many resources to use. Alright, Trapper's Camp we like. Herbalist Camp is okay. Plantation is also good, but Trapper's Camp is better. Villagers is good. That's not that impressive. Embarkation points is fantastic. I think embarkation points trumps villagers. Not by much. Starting ability harpies, starting ability lizards, essential lizards, easy pick. Anything that takes a blueprint out of the pool and gets me housing for one of the races that really kind of needs it. Harpy housing would be even better, but I'll take lizards. Ale and training gear. Training gear is solid. It enables you to open chests in places like the Royal Woodlands where you're never going to get tools going, more than likely. Meat and vegetable, fantastic. Amber, fantastic. I think I need to take the amber because in order to do the seal, I'll have to hit Prestige 20. At 19, you need an amber for opening glades. You'll want that the amber embarkation bonus. So take the amber. Alright, let's see what we've got here. I will not be trying the No Orders site again. If I did, I would try it in Scarlet Orchard. I get both machinery and artifacts up here. One fewer cornerstone is not that big a deal. It's an annoyance, but we'll get by. Now the foxes start with some dues, so I could build fox houses if I got offered them. And this has 10 people. This has a lot more food. It only has 7 people. It's going to be a marshland. The trappers is discounted. I want the trappers. I'm really torn on this. Having 10 villagers is much better than having 7. But the Crystal Dew isn't going to do a lot for me. Since I don't have fox houses, the extra 40 food and 20 reeds would be fantastic. I think if I was going to take this second caravan, I would want to leave the Trapper's Camp behind and take this discounted amber and those 2 chunks of food, which, to be fair, is a perfectly reasonable play. But because it's marshland, Trapper's Camp is just so good that I don't think I want to leave it behind. I would quite happily buy the Trapper's Camp for 20 amber. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to take the extra food, start off with fewer villagers. I'll be a little annoyed, but try and get by here. Only have 20 parts. I don't feel like I can go up to Prestige 6 yet. That makes it 5 parts per camp. Per food camp, that is. I think I'm going to play one more game at Prestige 5. See what other unlocks I can get. And then look to bump it up next game. Alright, enough thinking, let's go. Finders Keepers, one of the best mysteries you can get. But we have massive problems. This is going to be a loss, I can feel it. Oh no, that's not. Okay, I thought that was humid climate. Oh. I thought I had humid climate plus piercing winds, which is just devastating combo. But no, it's hailstorm and piercing winds. That's not as bad. Piercing winds is annoying on its own. Especially when you're not going to have much wood. The marshlands always has wood problems. You need to find coal. Greater Threat is obviously one of the nastier mysteries. If you can stay below 4, it's not a problem. Once you hit 4, it's a real problem. And towards the end of the game, it can be difficult to stay below 4. And Nauseous Spores is also not very convenient. With that change to make it like a minus 33% break time, you end up eating an extra once or twice during the storm. Alright, it's not the most devastating, but it's definitely not a good combination here. Got a few eggs, got a little stone. This is going to be the butcher. I think that's a fairly easy decision. We've got lizards. We want to make skewers and jerky. We're going to have fuel problems, so the ability to make oil could be very handy. I think this is a pretty easy pick. This one, not as easy. I might hold off on picking this. If I find fertile soil in the first glade I open, I might open like a large and a small or two. If I happen to find fertile soil, plant fiber would be great for making oil. Berries are great for skewers, pickled goods. On the other hand, if I open a dangerous glade with 3 large mushrooms in it, then an herbalist camp might be alright. And if not, the Provisioners is a perfectly fine building. You need barrels for pickled goods. Getting 2-star provisions instead of 0-star is nice. Flour is generally something it's nice to be able to produce. Either you can turn it into trade goods or use it for your baked goods. So all 3 of these buildings have potential, and so I'm just not going to pick it until I see a couple of glades. I really wish that had been my 3rd pick, not my 2nd. I've made an ever so slight adjustment to my starting. Instead of increasing the priority on all the woodcutters, I now decrease priority on paths. It's mostly a semantics change, but sometimes I want to build an early camp or something and I don't need the paths being built before the camps. Sometimes I have starting wood and I start building shelters before the paths are all done. So the paths are the last thing I want being made. So yeah, I just put those down to -1 now. Well, good old -1 cornerstone. And rerolling is not unlocked, I don't believe. So, cannibalism versus 10 amber. Take the amber, I guess. I don't have timed orders unlocked yet, so I can look at these orders. It doesn't matter. I'm going to need parts. I don't want to do this side, but I'm going to need parts. +1 fabric is nice. Parts is nice, as much as I hate to have to make packs of crops. And I don't have any industrial buildings for making efficient building packs. I still think this is the better side. I do not have a meat source right now. I have leather eggs instead of meat eggs. If you didn't know, there are 2 different types of eggs. The snake eggs provide leather, and then I think it's bird eggs provide meat or something like that. Wrong button. Where were we? Orders. I would rather have the 2 villagers and the +1 meat. It shouldn't be that hard to find meat in the marshlands. So I'm going to go for this side and possibly regret it. But I do have the full Trapper's Camp, right? Yeah, I did bring that. Alright, if I don't find meat, this could become a problem because Hilda does not, I think she does not generally sell meat. She only sells vegetable type things. But we're going for it. I think the TikTok is safer since I'm not guaranteed to get the tools. Yeah, I've got parts coming from both of my first 2 orders. +1 copper. If I ever get a tool building going, I'm going to want that +1 copper, so yeah, we'll take that side. Yeah, the wood is not coming in very fast here. I'm gonna have to start burning coal, I think, so that I can get shelters built. And that's going to mean I'm not going to be able to do a burn down event. And that's gonna be a problem. new paths that you build will not be at -1. So if you want those also at -1, you have to do it. The old ones are still at -1, but the new ones are at 0. Once I get the newcomers, I'll be over 8 people. That will bump the hearth up to level 1 and get me the +2 resolve. So the lizards only have to make it until the 2-minute mark, not all the way. So we'll be fine. I'll take the side that has a little bit of food. Copper bar will be better than the grain. I'm going to want to disable coats immediately so that the beavers don't use those. Not that 3 coats are going to make much of a difference, but if I get an event for coats that requires 30 coats, now I only need to come up with 27. Alright, we got the old stone grove. Some of these glades are themed. This one is the stone theme, so all I've got in here is stone. 3 large stone deposits, 2 smalls. You can get a bit of food out of these large stone deposits. 30% proc rate on 2 different types of food. So the odds of getting food each charge, the odds of not getting food are 70% times 70% is 49%. 100 minus 49 is 51. So if I remember my math right, I think I've got a 51% chance of getting food every time we gather stone here. Although it's been a long time since math classes for me, so I could have that wrong. But I think that's how that works. And it means that I did not find an herbalist, I did not find fertile soil. I might hold off a little while longer. I might pop one more glade here, because just stone is not going to get me through. This, God, like I said, I was definitely going to regret not being able to do a burn down event. Oh, this is a massive problem now. We're going to be hitting -8 global resolve because there's no way I'm going to get this cleared. Even if I use my parts, because I have parts coming in from 2 orders, and that's not really enough parts. If I use wildfire essence, I am getting 2 more essence. We'll be able to build a second hearth at least. That might be a better choice, but I still have to come up with 30 containers somewhere, which means the trader. And pray the trader has 30 containers and that I can afford them. Pottery. It does take pottery, correct? It will take pottery.
Hi.
I can't afford it. Alright, let's see if I get an empathy event order or something here. 35 coats. I mean, it's more parts. I don't want to turn in 15 building packs. I'll buy 35 coats at some point. Not a big fan of either of these. She does not have any coats. Once Hilda's here, I might as well try and get this second one done. Oh, did she have meat? Yeah, she does not sell. I don't think she ever has meat. I can't recall ever seeing it. Large mushrooms, stone. I can get insects out of the termite burrow. There's some meat. But it's another burn down event. She does have planks I can buy. That's probably what I'm going to have to do. Yeah, I've only got 9 villagers, and I've got 4 people doing events, so I definitely don't have enough to... I don't like over-exploitation. I definitely don't need extra hostility when I've got these nasty mysteries coming up. Alright, hopefully that +2 fabric will pay off. I have had to sell off some of my parts. But should be alright. Oh, and I'm going to get fertile soil out of this. 10 to 14 fertile soil. That's going to make the plantation much more likely. I did find 1 patch of large mushrooms down here for the herbalist camp. And if I took the herbalist camp, I would have 2 of the 3 major camps. I could go after this Forbidden Glade and have a 2 in 3 chance of being able to use the giant organism. But I think I want the plantation because I want the ability to get plant fiber and turn it into oil. I have not found any coal mines yet in my first 2 glades. That's going to be a real problem. So it's going to be the plantation. It's going to be the supplier. Supplier, just an all-around fantastic building, and even better in the marshlands where you will have leather coming in so you can make those water skins. I'm gonna let the fox finish that on his own. I wanted him to have help getting all these items carried in there, but there's no reason to have a second person helping him, and I need this trapper camp collecting the meat down here. So that I can get to 30 meat and get this hunters turned in. Alright, those 30 mushrooms will keep me from starving for a year. Alright, something has come up, so I'm going to have to take a break. And we'll continue this at a future time. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I do not forget what the heck I'm doing, and what a weird spread out chunk of farmland that is. Put that in right now so I don't forget what I was doing. Alright, thanks very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.